Hello. So what you're about to hear is a conversation between two late discovered ADHD women who have been a big part of each other's lives going back 15 years or more. So it's an incredibly relaxed and admittedly quite chaotic chinwag. If you're looking for a well-structured studio quality listen, this ain't it, Hans. But if you are constantly overcommitting, overcompensating, over-explaining, and you are completely over-apologizing for all of the above and for even breathing, there is absolute gold in here. This episode is the perfect example of how many neurodivergent people can not only have multiple interests, but even multiple thoughts and conversations happening at the same time. Hell of an edit. In all seriousness, ADHD presents differently in all people, but I'm certain that even if you aren't the same flavour of ADHD as us, there is value in this ramble. Which is why, despite the fact that at points I genuinely forgot we were recording and weren't just having a personal catch-up, I'm sharing this conversation in the hope that people benefit from the information and validation shared amongst the excessive swearing and cackling. We do touch on some sensitive subjects, so please have a read of the description before listening on, where you will also find a link to resources for support. If you are struggling, you are not alone. So please do reach out. And now, with all of those disclaimers out the way, I'm Laura, and I invite you on an ADHDAF safari to Blackpool Promenade to speak to Ashley, mother of the House of Wings at the fabulous Fernie House Hotel. Can I tell you about my fringe?
Just going to ask. I love it.
So it's my most ADHD thing because it's a clip-on fringe that I don't remember buying.
So I was going to ask if it was a clip-on, and the only reason it doesn't look like one, but I remember the last time you got a fringe in lockdown, you're like, I'm never fucking doing this again. But you really suit it.
I don't even understand how anybody lives their lives like this. Like, how does Claudia Winkleman live her fucking life?
Oh God, no, it's just not for us. It's not for us. It's like having curtains on your face.
Anyway, my other most ADHD thing, because that I cried in Nando's last night.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So Sahela came round last night. We could have gone to any restaurant in London, but I'm like, Eeyore, let's just go to Nando's. And so we went to Nando's, and then I just cried in the middle of Nando's. And it's just, this grief business is bullshit. It's absolutely, I can't. Is so frustrating and really boring. And what's weird as well, because I speak to the community members every day in some form. I'm either on body doubling or I'm on Discord or whatever. And it's almost like because they've been there through all of it every day for the last couple of years of my life, that's fine. But as soon as I'm seeing nearest and dearest, I'm just fighting back the tears. It happened at Roisin Murphy as well with Martin. We had the best time. But as soon as I saw him, it's like all of the grief was like rising up my throat. And I'm just trying.
That's so natural though. You're most vulnerable in front of your people. You know, they've been through so many different things with you, and your like natural state of being is to just be, you know, absolutely yourself. And if that needs to come out in those moments, that's what friends are there for. And you know, you might not see each other very often, and it's like, oh shit, you know, we wanted to have a good time, but actually it's not something you can control. So, and it's really fucking good that it's coming out. As much as it's inconvenient to you, it's so healthy for it to come out. Like, the last thing you want to be doing is suppressing it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I was meant to go to Aquafit today, and I was just like, I'm in the pool leaping about. Well, Eeyore in the pool, and then they play a nostalgic banger, and I've got some kind of early noughties Ibiza memory. I'm going to be howling, crying in the fucking pool as well.
In the pool.
So I'm not going.
It's unpredictable. You never know.
So, subplot, both of our most ADHD things is that we've been meaning to do this conversation for forever, and we keep not being able to organise it for whatever reason, this, that. And then today we were like, right, let's just do it, because we're both not feeling 100%. And then it was just like, hang on a minute, this is ridiculous. We're literally going to do an episode to talk about burnout, but we're going to wait till we feel better to do it and get ourselves all dolled up to do it when we could just sit here and be real and just do it. So that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
But before we properly dive into this conversation, we're also going to be talking about the Blackpool Style Assembly, which is an event that we were going to hold in June, and then we postponed it to August because we wanted to give it more time and put more into it. I just want to say I'm very excited that Steph and I are closing the show, and we've got quite the finale. This is not just a fashion show. This is a fucking political movement.
Yes.
And including actual movement and all sorts, and you really don't want to miss it. And then ticket prices include the Sunday event, which is at the Fernie, where I'll be playing bingo, and Steph will be there too with some Emporium goodies. So do go to the link in bio, grab yourself a ticket. What date is it again? Saturday?
It's Saturday the 16th of August, and August is a great time to come to Blackpool. There's loads going on.
Isn't it just? I want to do the karaoke bike.
We need to make that happen. Every time we see it, Sam goes, we've still not got Laura on that bike. So, yeah.
Well, you wouldn't believe it. I was looking yesterday to see if I could get one of them to cycle the last bit of the big ADHD fundraiser and take it to Wrexham. But see, there's no way it's going to happen. But honestly, that would be my dream, is that I wouldn't have to steer and we could sing karaoke all the way. So, yeah. Blackpool Style Assembly, Saturday the 16th. Yes. There will be a you do it. You do the blurb. I've forgotten the blurb.
Okay, so it's a multi-room immersive catwalk fashion show. The kind of concept behind it is that all of the designers are using sustainable materials. They're resourcing, reusing, reworking stuff, and that's a big thing for us because we're a coastal town, and we're trying to kind of educate people through the event that we're doing about just thinking twice about what you're consuming, and buying things that are pre-loved, because there's some incredible things out there that you can get that and you can get it for a great price. All of that comes with it. All of the designers, most are local, so from Blackpool or the Northwest, and it's just giving them that platform, because we don't have the opportunity to kind of go and put a show on at London Fashion Week. It costs a lot of money. This is more about just kind of bringing Fashion Week to us. So it's a really, really nice event. It's very creative. A lot of people there, really good energy. You move as the audience, you move around the building. So yeah, it's very immersive.
And there's lots of neurodivergent designers.
Yes.
And it's neurodivergent led.
Yes. Yes, yeah. Absolutely, which plays a massive role in, what the event is. We did it last year for the first time. We had absolutely no idea what we were doing.
It was amazing.
And I think that, that neurodivergence really played into that chaos, really played into how epic it was. Luckily, we had a few partners who've had some experience in the industry and stuff, and they were able to give us some great advice. Sarah from that alternative studio, she's neurodivergent queen and helpful and supportive. So we're really excited to do it again. And so excited that you guys are coming on board for this one, honestly.
Yes, so
you modelled last time.
Yeah, the Emporium closing the show. So it's neurodivergent creatives that we champion anyway, but this is really going to pack a punch. I've been really excited about it. It not Eeyore style, but when I think about it, I do actually cry because I'm so excited about it, but not like Eeyore. Although I might be on the night, who knows? But alongside that, if you do come for the Blackpool Weekender, your Midnight Cabaret Club is on that night, isn't it?
It is. It will be, yeah.
That's Saturday night, Midnight Cabaret. I've posted some videos about it on my social, and it's just incredible because Ashley and Sam are also... and Ava, all of you, you're dancers, you're DJs, you're dance teachers, you're part of this amazing crew putting on an incredible show, and it's free.
Yes. Yeah.
It's basically the after party for Funny Girls, right?
It is the after party for Funny Girls, which is the Blackpool's iconic drag show. So yeah, that'll be on that night, and it's absolutely bonkers, really. Starts at midnight. The doors open from 11:30. It's free entry. Come down and have the night of your life.
It honestly, I went so many times when we were there, and I love it. I literally love it. It's the best show. So I'll be there. And then we've got bingo the next day. So come for the Blackpool Weekender.
You are going to
get a karaoke bike, please and thank you. That's all I want in my life.
Listen, we don't do things by halves, really, do we? At all. Really,
all or nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly. I just want to mention as well, like, it really kind of goes full circle for you because, you know, you and I met in Thailand a long time ago. And when you started Hot Thought, I was, you know, immediately like, I need some of this stuff.
You were my first customer.
Yay! I love that. And I bought that. And then now, you know, we're hosting an event as a charity fundraiser for ADHDAF Plus.
Yes.
And you are sitting back in that seat of being creative and making again. It just goes full circle. I love it.
It does. It really does. And it's really, really exciting for me. It's really nice because like this whole social media thing, we know I have a strange relationship with social media anyway because of RSD. I've struggled so much with promoting everything as ADHDAF, as I thought, as anything. And now that AI is a thing, and let's not diss AI, I know it's a really useful tool for a lot of people. For me personally, the only joy of social media, especially if I'm doing infographics or whatever, is that I am creating I'm creating something, right? And it goes the same for writing. I like writing. I'm not saying I'm the best writer. I definitely have my own style of writing, but it's something that I enjoy doing and I put my creativity into. And now, just to go on a little rant, you're telling me that in order for my posts on social media to be seen, I need to get a looped video of me sitting in a car, buckling myself in with a seatbelt and just write something like, if you're an ADHD woman, you are enough. And that's going to get 50 basquillion views. And I'm actually telling you a piece of information, some stats, something really useful and important for the ADHD community. Mm-hmm. And that's not going to get seen.
Yeah.
I'm finding it really soul destroying. So to be able to flex my creative muscle again is literally everything. And so obviously, like, I've gone all the fuck in.
Yeah.
Like, I've got multiple stages. I've got different pieces of music. I've literally done an extravaganza. And when I think about it, it does make me cry because I've just really spent, you know, with mum passing away, trying to launch the charity, moving house, everything. I realized Flaxstock was July the 20-something last year. And apart from a not very good little bit of a Christmas show that I did for Pat's support group in Milton Keynes when I just found out my mother had gone into hospital, I haven't been on a stage. I haven't done anything for a year apart from sit behind a screen, do all of the admin. And it has, literally destroyed me. And I'm so excited to get back out. But anyway, this is what's really, really interesting, right? Is that both of us are creatives. Both of us are what's the word? It's not multifaceted, but we need to be doing different things, right? That's
absolutely
part of our motivation. Mm-hmm. And it's really weird because what you risk then is burnout. But at the same time, that is what we need in order to not feel stifled. So I've felt so completely stifled, even though there are multiple strings to my bow. There's the Emporium, there's the charity, there's the podcast, there's me as an actual person, God forbid. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that is multifaceted, but all of it has been behind a screen.
Yeah.
And actually, we need to be doing different things. Mm-hmm. So, I just think it's really interesting.
It is really interesting. And for me, you know, this is perfect time to have this conversation because we're just at the start of doing kind of our next 5-year plan. Well, we're not at the start of it. I've been thinking about it since November of last year, you know.
Since 5 years.
The last time we did the because we're a charity, we have to kind of go off like funding cycles. So our funding is going to come to an end in November. So I have to kind of make the plan. And, you know, really, I need to make a 5-year plan because I can't kind of work in these short bursts of time anymore. It's just not sustainable for me as a person or a creative. So I'm thinking about, you know, moving forward and stuff. And I've had some great conversations with other friends who are making work in Blackpool, who kind of, because we all have to kind of sit in this leadership role. And this is the question for me now that my friend has posed to me, like, because we're in this leadership position and we have to do this stuff that makes it all happen, but then also like the burning passion actually lies in the making and the doing and the delivering.
Yes.
Like it's this constant tug between the two. And up until now, somehow, I've got no idea how, but somehow we've made it work. But
Yeah.
it's at the point now, because it's all, because it's all happening, it's like to really lean into or to sit into that leadership position, I would have to relinquish some of the things that I love, or alternatively, I have to find a person who I can bring in to help me and to work in that position of leadership so that I can continue to do the things that we love and the community loves. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
100%.
what do you do?
And that's exactly where I'm at. So we're in the process now of getting different people, amazing volunteers. Thank you to everybody who's volunteered their time or applied to be an ambassador for the charity. Keep them coming. All hands on deck and very much appreciated. Is like handing things over. And it was really interesting because the chair of the board of trustees was like, Laura, you do need support and you need people to come in, but you also need to just like let go of some of that control. And I'm just worried you're going to struggle with it. I'm like, no, take it, please. Please. I trust completely. Like, I just can't keep trying to do
everything.
All of the socials, all of the admin, all of the ideas, all of the speaking, all of the whatever. And it's got to this point where, especially now I have to factor grief into things as well. It's like these last 3 years of just keeping my head straight forward and moving forward despite literally back-to-back obstacles all the time. I'm just batting, no, I'm going that way and nothing will stop me. And it kind of got to this place now where I'm like, but at what cost? At what cost? Because Lou in Newland invited me to be part of the Bad Bitch Assembly. So I'm part of the Bad Bitch Assembly at Camp VC in Wales. And I'm really excited about it because we don't have any, well, I'm really excited about it full stop, but we don't have any support groups yet in Wales. So I'm really excited to be in Wales and be able to speak to people about the charity alongside doing it my own way with karaoke and leopard print and bingo balls and with Lou in Newland and meeting all these other amazing bad bitches in the assembly. I got to this place where she messaged me about it and I was just like, Eeyore, I can't go because I'm just so exhausted and I'm so stressed and I've got so much pressure on my shoulders. It's like, hang on a minute, I've just admined myself into this Eeyore mess because this is exactly what I need to be doing to fill my cup. It's exactly what I want to be doing, but I've worked so hard with all the other stuff that there's nothing left of me. Yeah. And that's where I got to, was like, imagine if, the BBC called tomorrow. I mean, I'd handle with care because I've been burnt there before. But if they did, would I actually be able to do my best and stand there and speak to them when I'm this burnt out from doing all the stuff that takes away my students? Yeah. But those jobs need doing.
But so what's the answer? Does anybody know?
Exactly. What is the fucking answer?
I mean, the answer is that, you have to, we were saying before, relinquish some control over some things that deep down that you can do better than somebody else because it's your thing. It's a massive part of the problem because we can't micromanage other people doing the things that we have handed over to give us more time to do the things that we want. It's just pointless.
Yeah.
So you have to let other people do things in a different way. You have to find the systems whereby it can work in various different ways so that it doesn't have to be you doing everything. And that is, where I'm glad that I now understand this. And I'm at the start of the journey of trying to accept that process. Start of the safari, of starting that process to finding people, letting them help me or letting them help us because we can't do everything. It's just impossible. And how burnout looks for me is that I will go and go and go. I don't know how I can do this, but I can literally work on 2-3 hours sleep if I have to. Ideal amount is 5.
Same.
But that's very, very rare that I get 5. But 5, I'm fresh as a daisy. I don't understand it. I am. Yeah. Anything over that, I feel like shit, if I'm honest. 5 hours sleep.
I never get anything over that.
No. But then I'll go and go and go and go and go with all of these projects and all these burning ideas of things that I really want to do and that we're doing already. And then I just need to sleep for a solid week. leave, like, do you know, and it's not like, oh, hi, I need to sleep for a solid week, I cannot move. But I know that because I have a wedding on Saturday and I'm going to be surrounded by joy and people that I want to see, that my psyche is telling my body to come back round, so I'm starting to feel a bit more human again. But yeah, just burnout for me is like, no, it's not a choice. You're dead for a bit now. You can't move. Stop. And it's really unhealthy, that.
It's really unhealthy. And we know that burnout is dangerous. Like, you can be hospitalized, it can lead to serious depression, it can lead to all of the things that come along with that. So it's not like this is a game that we're dicing with. It's the way that we trip ourselves up again and again and again. For me, like, because I've had those 2 very serious bouts of burnout, which, you know, I when I didn't have the knowledge or the language, I called having a nervous breakdown, but I now see as like very acute burnout.
Mm-hmm.
Anything other than that, I've not really attributed the same name to it. So it's like the equivalent is it's all burnout, but you've got glowing embers or fiery fucking flames that are literally tearing you down. And I haven't seen them as the same thing at all, but actually they are symptomatic of the same thing at different strengths.
Yeah.
And for me, burnout is usually things are very hard to do. I'm pulling myself up by the bootstraps to do things that normally I would find quite straightforward, easy, or even exciting. And I'm just very emotional. I'm in tears. I'm crying a lot. And now, just like I said in the episode I did in honor of my mum, the problem is that not just do the symptoms of ADHD and grief overlap and exacerbate each other. If you were to go online right now and say, okay, let's look at the symptoms of burnout, the symptoms of ADHD, and the symptoms of grief, I must be missing something here, because to me, they all read like exactly the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
So when you're reading, like, this is what burnout is, I'm reading it, I'm just like, yeah, that's every day. That's what every day is like.
Yeah.
And I do wonder sometimes, and I've said this before, and I hope it doesn't come across as flippant or insensitive, because I do take this very, very seriously. But much like how I didn't realize I had anxiety till my ADHD medication took it away, not completely, but I didn't know I had anxiety because that was my normal.
That's how you just felt.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the same with burnout.
Yeah.
Like, I've never really, I'm, you know, oh, I live in burnout. Like, that's something to be proud of. It isn't. I want to be well. I want to be well. I want to do well. And I want to be the best for all of the people in my life and to do a good job, because I have a lot of responsibility. But how do I know what burnout actually is if I haven't ever really not been in it?
Yes.
Or at least for a period of time that is as far back as I can remember.
Very much that, to be honest. And I feel the same. Like, when I went on medication, I was like, oh, for the first couple of days, no, because it's a new substance.
Well, the first couple of days feel like you're actually on actual drugs, and you're not really supposed to feel like that. It's supposed to feel like normal. Yeah.
But then after that, I was like, okay, that's great. Everything just feels like I can think about things and it not be like, oh, you know, like, where is that clarity coming from is just, you know, next level. And actually, you know, I've obviously so grateful to be at this stage now where I've had medication for a while. It's settled down into my system, and I now feel like I'm kind of, you know, leveled out a little bit, and I know what it feels like to be able to do things. I don't know what I was expecting, but I think I was expecting, to a certain degree, not to still have this consistent drive and need to be able to just keep going. I thought that it might take that away a little bit, and it doesn't. So
no, it hasn't for me either. And that's the thing, it's going to be different for everybody. You know, some people say they just feel absolutely rank on medication. I'm not going to name the name, but somebody in the ADHD world has recently just come off their ADHD medication because they realized that they were ADHD and it made them quite reclusive.
Okay.
It was so driven to work and feeling less sociable that they just weren't having any kind of social life because it just made them stay at home and work.
Right.
So it impacts, it affects, and all the different kinds, and some are good for some and some are good for others, different strengths, whatever. I think the other thing that's really interesting and very frustrating is that we overcommit is point one, but point two is that we often don't learn our lessons about ourselves. So I'm going to give the example. We were set to record this, was it last Sunday? And I said, what are you doing today? And you're like, well, it's Pride. Ashley and Sam are literally lesbian power couple of Blackpool fame. So you'd had a whole do from the Fernie.
We had a morning do. We had a breakfast get together with the community, watch the parade go by because we live on the promenade. So that was lovely.
Yeah. So then you're like, so we'll record on Sunday. And I was like, yeah, mate, speak to you tomorrow. And then you messaged me like, oh, I'm really sorry. We ended up having a bit of a party. I was like, of course you ended up having a party.
Yeah, but the point...
Pride. What, in what universe were you not going to do that?
The point of this that makes it even more funny, because we do this cabaret on a Saturday night, you know, we're out with the community, everybody's having good vibes, and more often than not, we want to continue that after we've finished work, so we'll invite everybody back to us. We just don't want to be hanging every Sunday, so we're like, okay, let's not do this every single week.
Yes.
But we were like adamant that we weren't having the Pride after party. We were so adamant. I genuinely believed myself that we were like, yeah, no, I'm doing this tomorrow, so we can't. Everybody have a nice night. Soon as a sip of Prosecco passed my lips, boom, that was it. Sam was exactly the same.
Yeah.
We do not learn ever.
Don't learn. It's the overcommitting and thinking that we can actually do all of these things. Like I really overcommitted to something the other day and it was the stupidest thing ever. Somebody asked me to remind them to do something. I can't remember what I did yesterday. It's ADHD. It's perimenopause, but as I said, it's also grief. When I lost my friend in 2021, I know that whole year was a blur. And even when I was in it, I was like, I can't remember what I did yesterday. I can't think what I did last week. And so in this year, since I've lost my mum, well, I only lost her at the end of January, it's like, I know that I cannot remember stuff. And I'm there like, yeah, I'll totally remind you. And I came off and then I was like, hang on a minute. Who the fuck's going to remind me? And it's just ridiculous. Like, what are we doing?
Instead of saying, it's probably not best to ask me because I can't.
Well, I have ADHD too.
Yeah.
I'm going to set an alarm. You set an alarm between us. Hopefully we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, totally got that, babe. Yeah, no worries. What the fuck? Who? Who did I become in that moment?
Oh God. I think the issue is this is probably not the same for everyone, but we want to do so many different things. So when I was chatting to my friend the other day and, you know, she said, what can you pull back on? What can you pull out of the program? And I thought to myself, it's me who's putting all of these things into the program. I am overcommitting to myself.
Yes.
And it's like, stop it. You know, like, when does it end? When does that craving and need to be making and expressing stop? It doesn't.
That's the thing as well, is what is the cost? And that's what I mean. It's like you've got burnout, so that's your mental health, your emotional well-being, and potentially your physical health and well-being, and then it's your personal relationships.
Yes.
You know, like I forgot one of my best friend's birthdays the other week. You know, literally bridesmaid at our wedding, forgot her birthday. And then I looked back, we hadn't been in touch for like 2-3 months. I know that's fine, but is it fine though? Do you know what I mean? Like, again, sorry, I keep coming back to my mum. Eeyore isn't definitely in the house today, but I really didn't realise how old she was.
Yeah.
All I've done is ADHDAF 24 hours a day for the last 3 years. It was playing out and I just didn't see it because I was just too busy.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. And that I feel like everything that we are talking about, the overcommitting, the time blindness, the lack of pattern recognition, the lack of self-compassion, we're not saying that everybody is like this. We're not saying that everybody can operate on very little sleep. There are some ADHDers that cannot get out of bed. I don't really want to get in it, to be honest. Like, you know, we are all different, but all of this stuff is literally how the condition presents in us. The work has to be, I nearly said the B word, I nearly said the word balance, and I'm going to say bollocks instead, because I don't know the meaning of it. I've never found it, but like the work has to be trying, she says, to remember. It's again bollocks. I'm talking bollocks. I don't have an answer. If I was going to turn around and say, okay, you know, I'm going to do less,
no, we don't know how to do it,
and then I'd be bored. And I'm, you know, I think especially like you're so good at this, like you still plan doing fun things in amongst it all. You manage to fill your cup that way. I struggle with that even now that we live in London, because I'm just like, well, I couldn't possibly just go and have a night out because I'm so fucking stressed. And this is happening tomorrow and that's happening, blah. And I have to be all right for that. And I have to, blah. So I'm still doing that. But that means that my cup isn't getting filled up. You know, on the day that we went to see Roisin Murphy, who is my actual hero, by the way, apart from Grace Jones, they're almost neck and neck. I was never going to not go. Martin got me the ticket for my birthday and I haven't seen Martin for ages. But like, I worked a lot of hours that morning and just to be able to go. This is the really tricky bit, is I think that in doing all the hours so that I can go and enjoy myself is that I am alleviating the stress. I wonder if it's about self-worth. Now, I've said a million times, your productivity does not dictate your worth. But I wonder if there's something in that I don't feel deserving of nice things and nice times.
I constantly feel like I'm in a loop of overcompensating. And a lot of the time when I have had a nice time, I will then pay for it for the rest of the week through anxiety of like, oh my God, what the hell was I thinking? I have so much to do. This is going to affect my work. I'm punishing ourselves for the rest of the week by going, oh, it's, you know, you shouldn't be doing that. And who are you trying to make feel bad and why? Like, just have the good times. A lot of our good times are tied up in what we do for a living. So we are very much neglecting a lot of our relationships. I feel so bad because my mum, one of the most understanding people on planet Earth, rings me up and goes, I'm sorry to disturb you, honey. You don't have to, but... And I'm like, Mum, like I had to have a strong word with her. I was like, please stop. I'm fully aware that you and most of the other people in my life are aware of how busy I am. But I don't want it to be the first thing you say to me is, I know you're busy, but, because that's my issue. That's my problem and I need to sort it out. I'm trying to figure it out. And also stop saying sorry, because the other thing is that people do understand. If they love you, they get it. They get it. And if they're really pissed off and they really want to see you, they'll go, no, I'm coming to see you. To stop saying, I'm so sorry, I'm so busy. I hate it so much, you know. It's bullshit. It's bullshit because of course we're busy. We're never going to change it if we don't actually start doing what we need to do.
I've talked a lot in the past about this apologising. I did it for a joke on ADHD or Just a Bit Weird. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for existing. I'm sorry for, you know, because it feels like that all the time. But it's almost like I've just shifted it into a different realm. Instead of it being, I'm sorry I didn't get that done, or I'm sorry I'm late, or I'm sorry I forgot, or I'm sorry whatever. It's like, I'm sorry. What was that noise? I thought it was a vibrator.
What did you think it was?
It's not that kind of webcam, Jesus.
It was a motorbike passing by.
But it's like, I'm sorry I'm so busy. I'm sorry I'm working so hard. I'm sorry I'm doing too much. I'm sorry I'm stressed. It's like, there's 20,000 negative things. It's like, well, I was going to say the self-worth is raised. Clearly it hasn't. But like, I've shifted what I'm sorry for. I'm still apologising.
I need to find a new way to approach that because I'm kind of embarrassed of saying sorry now. I feel a bit embarrassed of going, hey, apologies, it's taken me so long to get back to you. So I feel like I need to find a new way to let people know that I am, but I'm not going in with it.
Instead of saying, sorry, this is late, you're meant to say, thank you for your patience.
Thank you for your patience. Thank you so much for being understanding. Because, you know, when I actually reverse it round and I think about the amount of people that don't get back to me for ages, like, I'm not sat there being angry at them at all. Like, if it's really inconvenient that I've not heard from them, I'll give them a second email or a third, and then a voice note, and then a call, you know, and I'll gently chase it up. You know, unless it's very, very pressing, I genuinely just don't give a shit because I understand that everybody has got, and that is the other reason why I don't like saying, I'm sorry, I'm so busy, because I know how many millions of people out there in the world feel the same as me all the time. So I don't want to say, like, make anybody feel like my experience of being busy is more important than theirs, and they're not busy too.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, you're not saying I'm busier than you and my work's more important than you. Everyone's busy, everyone's got to structure their day. I don't know, man. I do think, like, this social media business, I saw a thing the other day and it was just like, you know, we are bombarding ourselves constantly with like, buy this hat, people are dying, should you lose weight, something, and it's all in one scroll, in 1 second, just these completely different, very affronting, anxiety inducing things. And it's a constant bombardment, and I feel like it has got us all in an extra heightened state. And for those of us that have already got a dysregulated nervous system, we are just in this constantly heightened state. And I wonder if the busyness, like I said, on my part, doing more and more and more, like you've got the different strands of it. Is one is needing to be what's the word, Ashley?
Is it not multifaceted? Is it not?
Everyone's multifaceted, but multi-curious or something person that needs to be thinking about multiple things.
Okay.
But you're pairing it with trying to work away the anxiety.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. Which doesn't work.
Which doesn't work.
No, because you always think, how many times have we had this conversation where I've gone, and this is a common thing. I just need to get to the end of this week. I just need to finish this. I just need to finish this. And we were also talking about how unrealistic we are with how long we take to do something.
How long something takes to do.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have to be flexible with that. You don't know how long a piece of work is going to take. Even if you've done it before, there's several layers to what might affect how long it's going to take, but we just never make room for that. We go, here's a week, I'm going to do da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Or a day.
Yes, a day.
I'm going to do all of the things on this list in a day.
And also, what really, really plays into that is, when you're kind of freelance and I think it applies across the board, but especially in this world, meetings are really important. And so in a week, sometimes, this is a conversation me and Sam have, sometimes we'll have like 10 to 15 meetings in a week. And then we're like, okay, how are we acting on any of the things that we've said we're going to do in that meeting? Because we're just putting another one straight in after it, and another one and another one, and having all of these amazing conversations that could be quite progressive if we could actually do anything about what we said we're going to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, being more realistic with time is a big thing to kind of consider and think about.
I've been working on actually figuring out how many hours things take me, and I was literally astounded. If I was going to do one of those graphics posts, which is apparently a waste of time because of the algorithm, if I write a blog, how long I think it takes me compared to how long it actually takes me. Now, for so many of us, the way that we do get things done is by putting the extra hours in. And I didn't realize quite how much I was doing that. But what's even funnier is when I sat down and I was like, well, I guess maybe it does take me 4 hours to do that, or 6 hours to do that. And I thought I was being really brave and realistic and saying this is how long it takes. And then I turn around and I'm like, oh no, that takes me an entire day. And I wasn't brave enough to actually say it. This shame of the past, and I can totally keep up, and I can totally do this, and I can totally do it. I don't have to hide my struggles, but it's being brave enough to admit to yourself, not that it's a struggle, because like I say, I like writing blog posts.
Yeah. How long?
Write it. I'm going to reread it. I'm going to check the resources again. I'm going to reread it again. And actually, would it be better if I put this in this order? And would it be better? And actually, I've spent an entire day on this one thing.
Yeah. And that's the perfectionism, isn't it?
Yeah, perfectionism, fear of failure, fear of perception, all the different things, and they take hours and hours and hours longer.
Yeah, I used to be sat at this computer until like 3 and 4 in the morning. I looked at the clock last night and I was like, oh, I'm here again. Like, this is not okay. Go to bed. And don't go to bed and take your phone and look at it, because you're not switching off. Our brains probably don't allow us to drop off because we think, oh, it's a waste of time. Like, you could be doing something right now. Why?
And there's shit to do. Yeah, there's always something to do.
You've got a big long list. Do that instead. Even in talking it out loud, there's no answer to it. But luckily, we do. I have like a few pragmatic people around me, and one of them is my friend Melanie, and she'll just sometimes.
One of them is my lovely friend Laura Miss Reynolds, who's known for her pragmatism.
I mean, you call me out. You do call me out, but like, you need people. I think like when people are like present around you and see how you operate and go, actually, it's not like I'm watching your patterns of behavior, and not going to it's not okay, but going like, what parts of your life can you drop? Because there's going to be a point where you can't do all of these things, and I don't want to see you fail. That is like a conversation that kind of needs to be had a bit more with people, I think.
So we've done quite a few peer support groups now. I think it's like, is it the 5th or 6th Aberdeen one, for example? And all of the feedbacks from all of the groups is really, really positive, which is so exciting. So now we're going into phase 2, which is that each month we'll have a specific focus on a topic.
Okay.
So July's topic is unmasking. And so what that means is I'm behind the scenes getting together all the information, all of the resources, so that people can have takeaways. They can actually be like, okay, I've learned something today, or there's something practical I can do in this, or here's some other things I can read into this, etc. The topics are informed by everything that was learned in the Discord forum from people that are newly diagnosed or newly discovered ADHD. This is what they want to know. This is what they learned from each other. This is what they shared. And so I'm really, really proud of what I'm creating there, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Because it's the creative side, and it's the fact that the community inspired the charity and is actually informing the charity, and it all works as a whole. So I love it conceptually. I love it on every single level. But alongside that, I'm going to be randomly invading different support groups with games of ADHD bingo and more to come. So in July, I'm going to go along to the Birmingham group and the London group and do bingo. They'll still get all of those resources and everything else, but the actual sort of group discussion will be broader, because it will be introducing all of the topics. It's an overview of what we're doing and why, and all of the information. So it means that I get to flex that muscle and go back into actually speaking and actually meeting people and looking in people's eyeballs, not behind a screen. And very excited to do that. Now's the time to actually be more creative with it and be who we actually are,
and
get the support with the bits that we struggle with, because otherwise it's kind of quite hypocritical.
Very much.
It's setting everyone else up to fail. We need to be lead
by example, don't we? Exactly. It's such a success story, really, that what is happening with the support groups has come from the community. We want one in Blackpool, so
yes, we do. And we've got the perfect venue too.
We do.
So now that we found love, now that we are both trying very hard to really look at where our time goes, where our spoons are spent, what replenishes the spoon stock. I'm sure everyone knows about spoon theory, but just basically what fills your cup, what takes it away, and trying to keep our cup as full as possible so that we are able to tackle life better, and those glowing embers of burnout can kind of just die down a bit, because we know that they're always waiting in the wings. It's like actually really looking at how many spoons each thing costs you or gives you back.
Okay.
I know that I love meeting people in real life. I love public speaking. I love raising ADHD awareness and giving these seminars, but not as a teacher, as a ridiculous bingo caller. I love doing that. And often what I've done in the past is the things that I love doing go to the bottom of the pile. I still haven't written the bloody book, and bloody writing is the thing I bloody love the most. But the reason why I can definitely give myself the bingo and allow myself to do that is because I know it works.
Yes.
So the Discord community and all of those conversations are what informed everything. But coming out of the pandemic, coming out from behind the screens, doing the bingo is what brought everyone together in real life. So it is those two components combined is what inspired the charity. We know that there are loads of online spaces. ADHD Adult UK Charity have a fantastic Discord forum, but this is about that coming into real life. So I know that the bingo has helped people and it has brought people together and it works. So I'm allowing my cup to be filled because I also have the evidence that it works.
Yes.
So I guess the self-worth will be an ongoing safari. And the balance finding will be an ongoing safari. But one thing that we can do is look at how long things take us, because we accept, right? This has always been the core message of ADHDAF, right? Acceptance, okay? Maybe that's still far away. Maybe some days you just don't accept your ADHD and you want to burn it down. I hear you, right? But if you can accept that the problems that you have, if it's timekeeping, if it's whatever it is, exercise, if it's any of the ways that your ADHD trips you up, you accept that thing is always going to trip you up. And the acceptance of that allows you to put systems in place to better support yourself, because you've accepted that those are the areas in which you need support. So if we can accept that certain things give us spoons, certain things taketh away.
Yes.
And how long things can take us, that is what, and I invite everybody to do, to try and keep them glowing embers at bay. And I will wrap it up now. I've come in like Eeyore, and now I'm not quite Winnie the Pooh, but I think I'm probably Piglet, I think, at this point. That is how peer support works. This shit works. We both just sat here and said, even though it's not exactly the same, and we have different lives, different struggles, even our neurodivergence will present differently, but we have some similar traits and some similar experiences, and sharing them together, we've come up with some ideas of how we're going to work on them. We haven't found the solution, but the validation that we've got from sharing them, the insights that we've got from vocalizing them, that is literally how it works, and it is magic. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Love you so much.
So come and join us for a 2-day extravaganza. Head to the show notes and you'll find a link to tickets for the Blackpool Style Assembly, raising funds for ADHDAF Plus and School of Street Charities. Your one ticket includes both the Saturday fashion event and the ADHDAF Sunday social at the Fernie. And if we can somehow squeeze a karaoke bike in there too, I'm well up for it. That said, there will be karaoke at ADHDAF Bingo anyway, obviously. And if you are one of the members of the online peer support community on Patreon, you get a 10% discount on staying at the hotel, and the rooms will be reserved for community members. And I'll write on Patreon what the secret code is. And in the show notes for the episode, you will also find a link to ADHDAF Plus Charity, where you can get email reminders for any of the peer support groups. So if you happen to be in Birmingham on the 1st of July or London on the 3rd of July, I very much look forward to doing an ADHD bingo seminar with you all, overtaking those groups. And then we've got Edinburgh happening on the 1st of July, Aberdeen on the 2nd, and Manchester on the 9th. And all of the groups that I haven't invaded with an ADHD bingo seminar will be focused on unmasking, and whatever your local ADHDAF Plus support group has on, it will be free. It's free entry. There's no RSVP and no diagnosis necessary. ADHDAF Plus Charity connects and empowers ADHD adults of marginalised genders at any stage of their ADHD discovery or diagnosis. So come along. If you would like email reminders, you can find that on the website. And just a little reminder, though the work of this podcast inspired the creation of ADHDAF Plus Charity and will promote and fundraise for the charity, the two are entirely separate entities. I'm so excited to see those of you that I can next week, and I can't wait to get to Blackpool for the Style Assembly. And before that, there is, of course, the big ADHD fundraiser. So if you don't know about the big ADHD fundraiser, you can listen to the previous episode to hear all about it. But wherever you are in the world, thank you ever so much for listening to my chaos and rambles. And I know this is the most hypocritical thing that I constantly say, and I'm really working on being less of a hypocrite about it, but be kind to yourselves. Having ADHD, not only is it not a trend, but it's no joke. It's tough going. So take care of yourselves, lean into community, and thank you so much for listening.